What's up, everybody? Derek here, and figured I'd do a little live video here at the hotel. I'm on the road, not using a headset, and I'm not using my mic, so I'm just talking. Hopefully, you guys can hear me. I was thinking about early on when I first got clean, and it was really a struggle. At the very beginning, turn this down. It was very difficult at the very beginning when I was trying to detox. And I thought about a few things. I was trying to put myself back into my head when I first detoxed, because I've watched a few other people's channels. And yeah, what's up, man? Hey, I emailed you back. Just a heads up. Reach out to me, man. I'm on Facebook, Instagram, or give me back your number, or write me back your number. So that way we can talk. But I remember when I first detoxed, I will say this, my head was so not right. I mean, I was so wishy-washy on wanting to go back and use. If I could have, I would have. So I had to be somewhere where I couldn't get the stuff. I couldn't leave. I couldn't just access it easily. In fact, some strange stuff happened when I was at the lady's house where I was detoxing. It was a lady in recovery. It's kind of a funny story. She has saved my life in many ways, but the chick was smoking, chiefing up while I'm at her house trying to get off heroin. And I'm sitting here going, okay, what the heck is going on here? I'm not sure what to think of this. I'm trying to get off drugs and she's smoking. I didn't know what to think, but what happened was my phone, when I went to bed, the first night I went to stay there, she said, "We're staying up and you're talking to me." I said, "I'm not in the mood to talk. I don't feel like it." I was so out of it. I did my last shot. I was ready to go to bed. So I went to sleep and turned my phone off. When I turned that phone off and I woke up the next morning, I couldn't turn my phone back on. I don't know why it wouldn't turn back on. It was a Note 3, Galaxy Note 3. I'll never forget. It wouldn't turn back on. I even had them trying to help me turn my phone back on. And it was upsetting because we were doing everything. They were trying to help me turn my phone back on. Why is that important? Well, on my phone, I had all my contacts, any dope dealer, any way of getting transportation, all that stuff was on my phone. And my damn phone wouldn't turn on. And in my head, I'm panicking. I'm thinking, get this phone on. Get this phone on. I don't want to be here. Well, thankfully, my phone did not turn on. And so being at her house and couldn't leave and didn't have a phone, okay, I had to kind of deal with what was given to me. And this is why I made a video about how I quit heroin. I was outside at the backyard with a campfire going. The reason why I said it, how I quit, was I couldn't leave. I set myself up for success. Well, I didn't mean to necessarily, but I would say if you really want to quit, to set yourself up for success. And if you aren't going to a detox, if you aren't going to a rehab, I would absolutely set myself up for success by making sure you can't leave wherever you go. It's kind of like putting your own self in prison, but you don't want to stay in prison. You want to try and make it as comfortable as possible. You want to have your comfortable clothes. You want to have water. You want to have ibuprofen. I took ibuprofen. A lot of people who ask me, what all the drugs were you taking to get off of heroin? I took what is called ibuprofen in the States. It might have been Tylenol or something like Motrin, an anti-inflammatory pain med, and it's non-narcotic. And that didn't really do anything other than, it might have done a lot for all I know, but you don't feel anything because you're on heroin. I mean, you can pop 5 Percocet 10s and not feel it. Coming off heroin, you don't even feel Percocets. You don't even feel any of that stuff. So I'm at this lady's house. I can't get my phone to turn on. I can't get a ride over because I don't have a phone to call someone to come pick me up. And I remember that desperate feeling of, oh my gosh, where is this going? I'm going to be stuck at this lady's house. And yeah, I might have agreed to come over here initially because I was trying to get high and get my drugs and take more money from my family to get this high, and told them, yes, I'll go to her house and I'll detox. if you get me this money so I can pay back this guy, which really I was just getting high. I mean, we tell the weirdest stories, to try and get what we want. Um, Long story short, I ended up at her house detoxing and couldn't get a ride. My mom came over. She wanted to remind me how much she loved me. Now I'm in a cold, dark spot. I'm not in the mood for the emotional. But mom kept looking at me and she kept telling me, son, I love you. And I'm like, Mom, I know. I love you too. All right. I love you too. She's like, no, you don't understand, son. I love you. And she kept telling me that she loved me, and it like started cracking my heart. Like, I don't know. I got really emotional and I was like, all right, that's it. That's it. The lady at the house told me, shut the up. And that pissed me off. I had never had a woman other than maybe a few women in my life, but never this bold tell me to shut the F up. Man, I felt so crappy. And she turned to my mom, told her to get my dad The Giving Tree by Shel Silverstein. Some weird stuff happened to me. It was really, really weird because that night my son brought a book to my dad. And in that book, or that book was the Giving Tree by Shel Silverstein. And my mom actually bought it in a box before they came to see me that day at the flea market. Weird stuff. Anyway, that's some strange stuff. You can check my other videos for that. Someone wrote me. Oh yeah, man. Look, just you emailed me. I'll get back to you on that. And trust me, we'll talk. What's CSC Labs? What's up, man? Thanks, bro. Appreciate it. I really appreciate that. I just thought about early on. What's going on, Carrie? I'm doing good. I was talking about when I first got clean, that terror, that nightmare of being stuck in your head, and how I was successful. You want to get clean when you're high, and then you get yourself into a situation where all right, I'm going through with this. Once you detox, you don't want to go through with it. You kind of think, let me back up. I think I want to get high. Well, you set yourself up so that you don't come out of it. That's the goal. Appreciate it, James. I really appreciate it. Great to see you looking amazing, buddy. So happy for you. You're doing good. Thank you. Yeah, I joined some groups, man. This is crazy. I joined some groups on Facebook, and I was just kind of sharing, my experience and what's happened to me. And I joined one crazy group. Man, it's crazy. There's a bunch of crazy people in it. But everybody has their dysfunctional family, right? So I decided to join them. You can. I have a beer on me. Well, anyway, I wanted to kind of share with people who might be detoxing right now. There's probably some of you who are listening in right this minute who are thinking, damn, I've watched some of your journey. How the hell do I get off this thing? This is a nightmare. If you're detoxing and you're a couple days in already, stick it out. I'm telling you. If you're not, this is how you can do this. Set yourself up for success. And one of the ways I wish a lot of people would go would be a detox center. I know a lot of people want to do this at home. I'm not kidding when I say the stars lined up for me. It was successful because everything worked out perfectly. I've tried at-home detoxes to be successful, and I just was never successful. This was a perfect situation for me. I got myself somewhere where I had no way of transportation, no way of communicating except with a landline directly to my wife, and that was it. And, I couldn't go anywhere. I was distanced away from anything that I knew. So I had to suck it up and deal with it. I think I left her house a little early, though, because I was still withdrawing when I left. I wasn't withdrawing like I thought until nights came around. And when nights came around, I couldn't get comfortable. My legs were tore up, everything. It sucks at first. We know, trust me, we've been there. I know how you feel. I heard that in a meeting one time. And the guy said that, and he looked at me, and I could tell he knew what the hell I was talking about. Guys, check it out. There is a channel, Mark, I think I'm pronouncing this right, Mark Curran Recovery. He's new. He's been detoxing, and he's talking about it fresh. The guy has like 12 days off of heroin and cocaine. So you can show guys like that love. Everybody who's coming into this, I totally recommend you do your own channels as well. This thing will help you. We're a big community. We stick together. Let me read some of these comments here. I eat a bunch of OIST to keep myself from going back to the needle, but I've been going through it in my pad for 9 days and I'm still sick. How long? Julie, it takes a while. I'd say after day 14, you should be in the clear. If you're 9 days, don't stop. Do not stop. I am telling you, don't stop. You're that far. Don't quit. Don't quit. But we need people. How do I phrase this? I'll be at work, right? And I'm trying to motivate these guys, and they're not in the mentality to want to work. So I motivate them. I get them encouraged, and they wouldn't have done it of their own. It took someone around them who's experienced or knows something to motivate them. This is why I recommend people go to any type of group. I don't care. You don't look. You don't have to go to AA or NA. Everybody, I get a lot of comments from people who don't like it. Okay, got it. What do you have that's there? That's how I'm looking at it. This is life or death. This isn't, I don't like Bob. I don't like the way they talk. This isn't about that. This is about, do you want to live or do you want to die? That's where I was. If that's not you, then good. That's good. But I'm just saying, what are you going to do to breathe? I said this on the last video I did. You have to want this as bad as a person drowning underwater wants to breathe. That's how serious this is. If you are not going to take it serious, don't even try. That's what I'm saying. And if you do try, you need to do these things. You need people. You need to make sure you cut off communication with anybody who does this, because I'm telling you, people influence people. Positive and good people in your life are going to influence positive, and the other people are going to influence you in the other direction. It's just common sense. The same thing goes with transportation. If you know how to get it, if you know where to go, you need to be somewhere, if you can, where it's safe. Even though it's going to suck, it's going to get better. The worst part was kicking and not being comfortable and sleep. That was the worst part because it was longer. But man, when the sleep started getting good again, it was amazing. You felt feelings you hadn't felt since you were a kid. I mean, everything was new again. It was beautiful, and you want to live that new life. All right, let me see what we got. My brother Josh was subbed. Let me see. Okay. Have you checked out Rockin' Roberta? Absolutely. Rockin' Roberta is awesome. And she's super sweet. She did a video on Ryan Donnelly. That was really, really nice of her. You could tell he's a major influence on her and how her recovery was. If you haven't seen Ryan Donnelly's channel, I'm going to plug it. I'm telling you, Ryan has been through this. He's got a lot of time. He talks about like stuff that I didn't even think about to talk about, like how you gain your energy back after getting off of it, because your natural energy levels aren't right. And he mentions even talking about caffeine. Should you drink coffee? I did. I was drinking coffee, and yes, I felt the jitters he's talking about, that almost like you're crashing, but I did it. I drank it, and yes, it sucked, but I did drink coffee, I will say, and it helped me with energy. Okay, Cam, take these. Was your relationship on the rocks? What was the situation with your wife during this time? Good question. Really bad, Morgan. I wasn't even home. I was living on a friend's couch, I still am in touch with them. They're in recovery now. And the girl that I was staying at their house, she's actually been clean for 9 months now, which is really impressive. So it didn't, our relationship wasn't good at the end. But I'll tell you this, when I got clean, we didn't argue for 18 days, not one damn argument. And I used to fight with her every day. I needed $20. I needed to get dope. I needed my drugs. And that was my woman. That was everything to me. I didn't even show her sexual attention. I was so obsessed and so out there that we didn't even have that bedroom relationship taking place because I was so nodding out all the time and wasn't even aware. And, that kicked in, and it was amazing, obviously, when I got clean and my hormones were back. It suppressed everything. But at weeks, it's all mental. I can go 8 hours sometimes. Weeks is tough, I know. You helped my brother Josh with heroin. Thank you. He was 6 months sober when he died last March. Wow. Oh, wow. That's awesome, Carrie. That's great news. I'm glad I was helping. I get a lot of people who reach out too that talk about that, and this helps me. So this isn't just me doing this. Oh, well, because I just feel like doing this, or people think I'm in this for the money or something. I actually care, and you can reach out to me on Facebook, Instagram. You can email me. My email is Derek, DEREK, the number 4, God, God, the number 7 at gmail.com. I'll put it in the description below. I'm actually going to come up with an email list. We'll figure out an email list where I can start sending you guys out some stuff. Bro, your vids are so dope. Got me crying. I'm on day 6, by the way. Your shit resonates so much. Thanks and good vibes. Appreciate that, Smokey. I'm glad it resonates. And if you don't relate to some of the stuff I'm saying, try to, whatever you can relate to, try to. Because I'm telling you, I just want to see success. I want to see you guys get it. If you don't want it, then don't waste your time. I'm not going to try and convince someone who isn't wanting. I know that beast doesn't want you to. When you're detoxing, you want to get high. Of course, I'm not trying to convince you while you're detoxing. That's why I've always dropped Kurt off at a detox center high. Every time I've taken my brother to try and get him clean, he wasn't willing to go. He had to be high. It was like, oh, well, you can't convince him while they're sucking to want to go. So he wanted to get high, took him to detox center. And it stick for a short period of time and it wouldn't stay. And why? I'm sure he's going to tell you guys when he gets out, but he did not stay in any type of fucking community. He didn't get involved in any type of step program or anything. It doesn't have to be steps. If you don't like the word steps, okay? Anything to rewire the brain, he did not do for him to be consistently changed to rewire his thinking. He didn't do any of that. In fact, he went right back to the same old stuff, back to the same household, the same situation, went back to drinking his beer, doing his thing, and, oh, I'm just drinking beer. I'm going to go to the gym and get back in shape. And sure enough, boom, I see his eyes one day, and I knew. I mean, it doesn't take – I literally don't have to look at him but 3 seconds, and I'm like, yep, I know what it is. Yeah, Mark. Hey, like I said, check. Mark Curran is in the it's Mark Curran Recovery. He reminds me with his voice of Conor McGregor. You know what I'm saying? He's like Conor McGregor's little brother with the Irish voice. You know, I love that. That's awesome. Check him out. Show him some love because, you know, we need each other. I'm telling you, people influence you to stay clean. You guys have saved my ass many a times just by the positive vibes that come in the comments. Show Mark some love, y'all. Calm support saved my brother. Calm support. Look, there's a 6 right there. I've never even done calm support, but if that's an option, check that out. Is that something they can get online, Carrie? How do you distract yourself? You know when the thoughts come, and does pot help? I didn't smoke pot, bro, to be honest. Some say it does. To me, this is how my mind worked. I knew that anything that was going to take me out of me, all right, I was going to want. And not just once. Once I started it, I was going to continuously want. I didn't know how to just stop, you know. And I used to, you know, smoke a lot of pot. I was a huge smoker. I mean, back in the day when I was coming out of high school, I smoked a lot. Years later, I tried to do it again to get off pills. And I guess you'd say, hallucinated somewhat, like had a really bad experience. And I don't know, I got paranoid real bad. I was talking to God thinking I was going to hell. So I don't smoke pot, but I don't know if that will work. I'm no medical doctor. I don't know how that works, but I do know I knew that when I got sober this time, or clean, I did not want anything to have to wean off of again. This is why I didn't go to Suboxone or Subutex or Methadone. I knew that if I was going to suck, it was only going to be for a short time. It doesn't feel that way at first, but I'm telling you it is. I went ahead and went cold turkey. That pain was the worst pain I ever felt in my life. I'm going to say it right now. Women experience the worst pain having kids, and they still have kids. So just because you detox and it's the worst pain you've ever had in your life doesn't mean just because of that you're not going to go back. There are people who detox cold turkey, and it's not successful. I get it. That's why you have to rewire your thinking. But I damn sure didn't want to come off, you know, heroin to get on methadone or Suboxone to later on have to come off that again. I personally made that decision. If you can't detox cold turkey, don't. Go see a doctor. See some medical professional and let them wean you down. I encourage any method that gets you off the streets. That's all I ask, is that, people come off of the streets and killing themselves, because that's my biggest worry. I have a brother-in-law who's been on methadone almost 5 years. Still, he said that he's afraid he's going to get high again. I understand that feeling. And so he made that decision. He'd rather go and get on methadone and stay going to a clinic for what might be the rest of his life. I didn't want to make that decision. And he can always try to detox. It's another beast. That's all. It's just another beast. And the half-life on that, I mean, that stuff gets down into the bone. So that's why people recommend Suboxone. But even Suboxone has a long, it just depends. If you do this right, it's possible. It's just you got to do it right. Because Kirk was doing Suboxone. He was mixing so much shit, it's sad, calmsupport.com. Can I take codeine 5 milligram pills? Julie, you're asking the wrong guy. I don't recommend taking codeine or oxycodone or any type of opiate when you're trying to get off of heroin. But look, I'm not a professional. I would recommend seeking professional help for that. But if I have tried getting off heroin, I will tell you this. I'm going to tell you my experience, because I'm not going to tell you what you need to do. That's not my place. All I can tell you is what I've done. One time I was trying to get off heroin, and I had a bunch of 5 milligram Percocets. I also had a little methadone just in case. And it was only like 2 days worth of methadone. That's it. And I stayed up, because you still can't sleep, even though you're on Mount Everest with the heroin. And the Percocet's going to take you somewhere lower at the bottom of the mountain. You're not going to get high unless you took a large dose. Let's just say I had 25 milligram perks to try and wean my way down. I had done them so quick and done like I abused them. I didn't even know how to wean myself down with those. Then I took the methadone, and I really only did a day and a half because I took too much of it. So it just, I wasn't successful. Some of you might be. That's my experience. And I wanted to keep taking Percocets. I kept wanting to take those. Once I stopped the heroin and I was doing the Percocets, I wanted more of the Percocets. So I'm obsessive. I can't help that, 8 years ago, I got sober, threw myself into school. Now I'm forensic. Ooh, Carrie, that's what I'm talking about. I love hearing good success stories. Really, really do. Kurt is doing well, by the way. He's going to be out on Christmas Day. What a Christmas present to his daughter and his family. I've never done heroin before. I just really admire and appreciate people like you helping others. Thank you, Morgan. I really appreciate that. I'm on here just trying to help people, and it helps me. Helps me to help people, because I have to give away what was given to me. And that's a principle in life. That ain't just, oh, you got that from a meeting slogan. Yeah, that's true too, but that's just a life principle. You can read that anywhere in any ancient text. Respect and love from India, my brother. Thank you. Appreciate that. Shout out to India. Definitely stay away from LSD if you have an issue with pod, but it's literally rerouting my brain to not need it. You've done is what we all wish we had the strength to do. I hear that a lot. And I know that's very tough. I know. All I can say is distract yourself. That is the key. Don't lay in bed. Your mind will go 90 miles per hour. I put myself in school, and so thank you. It's been 8 years now. Thank you, Carrie. Appreciate that. What's going on, Ethan? Yeah, I mean, look, in terms of rewiring the brain, I've actually saw there's a documentary where people are doing ayahuasca and stuff. I don't know. I research this stuff because I'm open-minded to seeing what possibilities there is to save more people. They're doing ayahuasca at some, I guess you'd say a spiritual guy who's a shaman, and he was, helping people get off drugs. And I was watching that on YouTube. I'm not sure what the name of it is, but if you looked up shaman guy in America who's helped people who's addicted to sex, drugs, whatever it might be, he's tried to help them, I guess you'd say, get off. And I don't know. I don't know if that stuff works for sure. I really couldn't tell you. I don't recommend anything that's going to alter your state of mind as a narcotic. That's just me. Because the sooner you get off the shit, the sooner you can start fixing things. Like, as long as you have a fog, you can't really, it takes a lot longer to recover and rewire the thinking. And so I went cold turkey, and I started immediately going to meetings with Kurt. Kurt did not consistently go. I did, and I stayed clean. Ayahuasca is a plant. I think it's from the Amazon, or they have it in Mexico too, I think, but I think it's like South America, and it's like a hallucinogenic. It's pretty much something that would make a lot of people who are spiritualists, shaman and whatnot will take it for spiritual practices, but they say it can drastically change. They're doing research on it, and they're talking about how it can drastically change people's depression. Look it up. Look up a lot of these new ideas that I guess you'd say are being researched. I'm open-minded to new things because who knows, I might find something that's better than we've had. Let's see. So, Friday, man. Appreciate it, dude. Thanks a lot, man. I'm trying, man. I'm out here working. Look, I'm in the hotel room. I'm gonna give y'all a glimpse of this. So I'm in the hotel room. I go on the road, of course. I'm chilling. And I said, you know what? I'm going to try and do this more often on the road. I work all day, then I get back to the room. And usually I, will research. I like to study a lot and do things like that. It takes my mind off of other things. If problems are going on in my life, I escape by researching or studying or watching YouTube videos, whatever, I always have something I can do. And if worse comes to worse, I'll take a nap if things are just hitting too much. Yeah, tramadol. Look, I have a personal experience with using tramadol, but also, look, I have a personal experience with using a bunch of stuff. I just didn't go hard on cocaine. I didn't do crack hard. I didn't do any of that stuff hard. I've taken a lot of ecstasy pills back in the day. I've taken mushrooms back in the day. And I've done, a variety of little things here and there, but mainly alcohol, opiates of any type. I've taken tramadol and almost had a seizure while driving. Everything blacked out. And I know my eyes were open, but it was almost like they were shut because I couldn't see, but I could hear. And my eyes were open. And finally, I was able to see again. I started drinking fluids. I knew I was about to freaking wreck this vehicle because I was about to have a seizure. It was scaring me. So, yeah, definitely know a little bit about it. And I have someone close to me who's had multiple seizures because of it. Not a good thing. And they're still doing it. After all the seizures and everything, they still do it. They can't stop. So it's tough. I used to order tramadol off the end. Yep. A lot of people can order that stuff, it seems. And I think they're starting to crack down on it. They finally created as a class C, I think, narcotic or something. I'm not sure, but they're starting to break down on tramadol. I don't like the way it makes you feel if you take too many. But of course, I take too many of anything. You guys have heard that recovery joke. It says something about they have invented a pill that you can take and it'll cure you of addiction. And a drug addict asked them, "What it'll do if I take two?" Like, all you need is one, dude. But what will it do if you take two? I need to know. What will two do? So, there's always a funny thing with us. We're always thinking extremely hard. How were you when you started using? Was there a reason? How old were you? Oh, Mary, I can't say exactly when, because it's not just opiates. This traces back to, I have a father who's an alcoholic, but I started drinking in Puerto Rico. I actually lived in Puerto Rico for 3 years. We were stationed there. And I was actually drinking beer, drinking, liquor with the kids, having a good old time. And I found that as a good little escape every so often, but I wasn't hooked on it. Well, years go by. I'm smoking pot, drinking with the rest of the kids in high school. I get out of high school. I have a headache. And next thing you know, my mother-in-law gives me a Percocet 5. I was on a cloud. I had never felt ever that feeling, what opiates do to you. I had never felt that pleasure, that it gives. I also have never had more tragedy and more struggle in my life than what opiates have done. So you pay, you reap. You reap what you sow. It's just the way it is. And I wanted to let that party keep going. So I was really young. I don't know exactly when. I'd say I was 17 when I started to even try Percocet. Maybe I was 18. Uh, hey, what's up, David? Julie, I just need to know, can you ever compare the tramadol withdrawals with heroin? No, they don't compare. They suck. Yes, it can be a little bit sucky, I guess you'd say, but nothing in comparison to heroin. So heroin was obviously far worse than that. But I've heard if you're doing these maintenance drugs and you don't taper like they recommend over a long period of time, you taper down, seeking a medical professional or someone who can help you with that. As long as you're working with someone, that's what matters. Then yeah, I guess you'd say it's better to go that route. I didn't know how, man. It was hard for me to commit. No, tramadol is not as bad as heroin to come off. Yes. Thank you, Rose. Yeah, same, bro. I've done psychedelics before my heroin phase, LSD and DMT especially might help. Can you order ayahuasca off the end? I don't know, man. I don't know. Look, like I said, I don't know those methods. I know cold turkey. I know what didn't work for me. This is not my first rodeo of trying to get clean. I was successful this time. I had been successful before years ago, and I ended up drinking at church, communion. I loved the way the wine made me feel, and I took a few bottles home with me. Eventually, those bottles of wine turned into liquor. I wanted liquor, and I kept on. And then things got real bad between me and the wife. We separated. I'd black out. And so it was really a nightmare. I just wish I was able to do that normal, but I don't. And that's just who I am. So I wear it like a badge of honor. And so I tell everybody, I'm a recovering addict, even when I got hired. So I don't want to repeat myself because I tell this stuff in previous videos, but what's going on? Okay, look, I wanted everybody to know. Thank you, Sam. Appreciate it. I wanted everybody to know if you're first getting clean, if you're first detoxing, the first things that came through my head, obviously at the very beginning, is what am I getting myself into? Do I want to do this? You get scared about that, or you may or may not want to do it. That's something that you have to commit to by putting yourself somewhere. So as the chemicals leave, you can start thinking clearly. And as you make those clear thoughts, you need to involve yourself with people who want what's best for you and who want to support that, your progress, not your downfall. So preferably put yourself around those people. That is something at first. And then when the pain comes, you think, when's this shit going to end? That was something that crossed my mind. Like, how long is this thing going to last? And it will go away. Gypsy Soul, is your wife a recovering addict as well? My wife is nothing like me. Now, she's prescribed medicine because she has a medical condition, but she is nothing like me. I am a flat out, what you would call a drug addict. Recovering, of course, but my wife is nothing like that. And how can I stay in a house? We talked about this last time. How can I be in a house where she's prescribed this medicine and yet I am addicted to all these drugs? Well, that takes this right here. You got to rework the brain. And now I'm good. My mind is always thinking in certain patterns. And when problems come, I don't go, where's those damn pills? Come here. Where's the dope man? I don't need it. I'm good. What's going on, Matt? Greetings there. Can we get a possible update on Kirk? Kirk is in jail. You guys can kick my ass for this because he actually asked me to buy him a Batman comic book to help time pass by, and I keep forgetting to order it off Amazon and send it to him at the jailhouse. He's doing good. He's telling me, he's like, dude, I just want to get out. I just can't wait to get out. December the 25th, fingers crossed, say a little prayer. Hopefully they'll release him on Christmas Day. Hopefully there's someone working down there that, will say, all right, Kurt, or they release him hair early. That'd be a great Christmas present for the kids. They love their Uncle Kurt, and they know that Kurt's never been a bad person. Kurt's a great guy. He just struggles. And so you know all too well the opinion people have of people who've done wrong things because of their addiction. So I've been viewed that way. Shit, my record reflects this. I am a felon. I'm not ashamed of the fact that I have a background. It will be gone one day. It will. Fingers crossed, sooner than later. But it's definitely going to be gone. And that's kind of why I want to share this. Like a lot of people are like, oh man, I got a felony charge. I have, all these problems. Look, I had a felony charge. DSS, the Department of Social Services, was investigating me because someone called in and told them I was on heroin. I was on probation, so I was going to have to take a urinalysis soon. Fail that, they would have put me in jail because of that. My wife had kicked me out. I was on a couch. I had all this. I was on a couch at someone else's house. All these things working against me. I felt like the walls were closing in on me. Like everyone was forcing me to make a decision to get clean. And I just wanted to feel normal. And I made up a lie to get money and promised I'd go to this lady's house if she let me pay back, which I didn't owe any money, pay back the dope dealer the 140 I owe. So I got 140. Now it wasn't that easy. I mean, I'm talking about hours of tantrum and pissed off, and I had no way to get it. This is just being the truth. And I ended up at her house. Sure enough, phone wouldn't work, had no transportation, was stuck, and she gave me a laptop to get on Netflix. And I'm watching shit. Like when you're early on, your thinking is weird, and the way you feel so weird, you feel gross in your own skin. You'll if you're detoxing or you know what I'm talking about. And I'm sitting there watching the weirdest stuff on Netflix just so that my brain would keep moving. It's just weird. Nothing's comfortable. You're just trying to make time go by. And I hated that feeling, but it goes away. It slowly goes away, and then it comes back in waves. And then it's the waves appear less often over the next couple days. By the time day 14 came, I was in the clear. I'm not going to say my sleeping was perfect, but I felt like I was sleeping a lot better, maybe 5, 6 hours a night versus an hour, at best 2. It was getting better. Let me read some of these because I am so done with that. Not tempted at all. Were you scared your wife would divorce you? Well, Carrie, I wasn't scared that my wife was going to divorce me. I wasn't scared of anything. At that moment, when you're that deep, you don't care about anything but your habit. You literally, I mean, deep down you care, but the number one importance was, how do I maintain my high? And then when you got high, you would remember all the other things, and then you're trying to figure out, how do I fix this and that? I need to get clean. I need to do this and that. And then all of a sudden you're detoxing again. And there's nothing that matters more than getting that feel good to make you feel better. It ain't even getting you high anymore. It's like, how do I feel normal again? You don't even feel normal anymore. The opiates, your receptors are jacked up. You're just so stuck, and you're obsessed, and you're so self-centered. You're just stuck on you, that you don't have time for your 3 kids that are at home this whole time while you're not home, wondering where their daddy's at. You're just not afraid. You are focused on that, to the point to where before I detoxed, I literally had a bunch of syringes in a book bag that was in the room that I had brought with me. The lady never even checked my bag when I went to her house. I was taking old syringes and filling up a spoon with old stuff, and I'll leave the details out, trying to get something. I was so desperate, and nothing. It didn't give me nothing. So it sucked, man. It sucked, but it was worth it. It was worth everything I went through is worth where I'm at today, because a lot of people needed to hear this. Someone else might be ashamed and be like, oh my gosh, am I the only one? No, you're not. There's people who've done way worse than me. And it's just part of this. It's part of the process. Thanks for the videos. They help me. Love from Australia. Thank you. Appreciate the love from Australia. Tell about how the first time you used heroin was like. First time I used heroin, I snorted it. I was actually hooked on Opanas. If you're not sure what Opanas are, they used to be like a stop sign shape, and they're called Oxymorphone. It would be the technical term. and they were extremely strong. You had to snort them if you really wanted to experience them, but they got so expensive I couldn't afford them one day. And I called a guy who had them one time. He didn't have them, but he had boy. I didn't know what boy was, and he kept telling me, "Dude, you're not. It's about the same thing, except for a lot cheaper." And I had. There's always that stigma on what a drug is. Oh, it's heroin. Don't do it. And I was hurting so bad that day that I said, I'll try a bump. I'll try a little. I went over to his house. He gave me a deal to sell me on it, and I did a little bit. And when I did it, I felt not sick anymore. And I was like, "Oh wow, this is actually for a lot cheaper. This is a better deal, right?" Well, that rabbit trail goes deep, but there was a day I couldn't afford what I was used to able to afford when I was snorting, and someone I trusted helped me the first time ever when I only had $10 worth of dope because I was sick. I ended up shooting up, and that was the beginning of the end of a process. I'm thankful I'm no longer experiencing, but I do have experience, and that's where I'm sharing this because it took me to the darkest place in my life. Do you feel or see any permanent damage to your health? Good question, David. I don't know. I can't tell any permanent, but I think I stopped early enough that after only a year of shooting up, I feel like I'm blessed. I can't tell any permanent damage. I'm sure there's been damage there. I do know that when I abused Adderall years before, I stayed up for like 5 days. I probably took, and I'm not even kidding you, I'd say 20, 25, 30 milligram capsules of Adderall in 4 or 5 days. I stayed up and I did something to my body. I don't know what it is, but every once in a while I feel like I'm going to pass out if I don't eat or if I drink too many stimulants, something with too much caffeine. I feel like I'm going to pass out. I took way too many Adderall, and I'm thankful I didn't die. That's how bad I couldn't stop getting that high, that euphoria that comes with the Adderall when you get that peak. I was mixing instant release 10 milligrams with 30 milligram capsules, and I kept taking them, and I was up for days. I don't know how I didn't like really overdose or do something crazy. So, what's up, Marcus? Checking in. What's up? Awesome. My brother would scream in my face for money, then cry because he thought I would leave him high and dry and knew what he was feeling. I was there 7 years before him, but he was using for 15 years total. Wow. Did you ever abuse hydrocodone? I used to take Vicodin when I couldn't find Percocets. The Vicodin tins, they were yellow. I've taken other ones too, but they never compared to the perks, and that's why I always stuck with the perks. I had a high tolerance. First time I went to jail, my cellmate asked to drink my urine. Now that's desperate. Wow. Yes, that is desperate. What's going on? Feel good? What up, winky face? I know what you mean. I had 2 felony charges. David, trying to make it, man. Thanks for talking to us all. You inspire me. Thank you. Is it true that the first time you use heroin, you're hooked? I can't say I was already hooked. First time using heroin, I was already hooked. I I went from Opanas to heroin. So I couldn't afford $80 worth or $70 for one 30 or 40 milligram pill. Instead, I was able to afford $30 of heroin. And that's how I transitioned from Opanas to heroin. And I was snorting, and then the rest. Maybe not the detail, of course, but there's a lot. You motivate people, keep going. Appreciate that, Sam. Rose, wow, that's nuts. We had a lady come into our morgue last month. She was drinking others' blood just to get so-called high. Woo! That's uh, okay. They have a problem. I have not tried. I think you're trying to say kratom, WC boy. I have not tried kratom. I've heard a lot of people tell me that it's easy to get hooked on, but they say that it helps with the withdrawals. But when you come off of that, if you take it for a long time, then you withdraw from that. Problem is, once you start it, it's very hard to stop. I know how that goes. It's tough. Uh, Kurt's doing good, Chad. I just was telling everybody about that, and hopefully he gets out on Christmas Day. He's locked up right now. I need to buy him a Batman magazine. I keep forgetting, man. He told me to send him one. He's bored out of his mind. And he is going to start a channel when he gets out. He says, I'm not going to push him. He's got to want that. and he could tell you guys more on stuff I've never experienced. Kurt has gone way darker and deeper than I ever have. So you will hear experience from crack, coke, Suboxone in a way that I never was. I mean, Kurt's shot up Suboxone. I never did. I have added it to water and snorted it and done dumb shit to try and, think it was going to do something. But Kurt has done just about a lot of things. He has a lot of experience with this stuff, and not something to brag about. But if he's successful, this is something maybe he could be a huge help for people in a big way. You are usually hooked on the opiates before you get to heroin. That's true. That's true. Oh, sorry, just joined in. That's good to hear. It's a rough road. Absolutely, Chad. David, yeah, sure, buddy. Someone wanted to drink my because of the alcohol in it. Ooh. Anyway, I'm glad you guys are here checking in. I'm very thankful to have you guys here. And, I just wanted to make this about when I got clean, how I was successful. Because if I didn't have walls around me protecting me from leaving, I would have left. That's natural. Nobody can fault you when you try to detox for wanting to get high. If someone points a finger at you and talks about, you just don't care, they don't understand, and so don't take it personal. They don't understand. But I'm telling you, put yourself in a place where you can't just escape. That's the safest way. Yes, it's going to suck, but it will pass, and it'll be the best decision you've ever made if you properly follow through with it. That's the goal. The detox, the pain, yeah, it sucks. The worst part, I think, is just the long-term no sleep for, 7, 8 days. I mean, the pain is sucky. It's like the extreme form of a cold, but way worse. I mean, way worse. Yet the no sleep for 7 days is more like you're sitting there doing this, going, oh my gosh, what do I do? I'm bored out of my mind. So that's the hardest part if you're doing a cold turkey. Going to sleep, very good. Seen in the video. Keep him doing. Yes, sir. Have a good one, Sam. Cravings pass whether you act on it or not. Yes. Man, that shooting up scene in Pulp Fiction really took the stigma out of me for me with the syringes. Ooh. Same here, Aaron. Thanks for this live. Please do more lives and more videos, please. I'm trying. I want to get clean. I don't get high. I just feel normal. Don't want to be sick. I totally understand. Nobody wants to be sick when you first get clean. That's why people go to maintenance drugs. And so they go to a clinic and they speak to a professional who puts them on something that helps them get off the streets. And I will tell you that I personally recommend what works for you is what you need to do. I'm not judging you on whatever that is. I want it to be a better than being on the streets. That's all I ask. So I'm not knocking anyone who needs to do something in order to survive. Like I said, how bad do you want to breathe? It's all about how bad you want to breathe when you're drowning, because this is not a game. I didn't walk into rooms going, hey, this it sucked, it hurt, that's it. No, I thought I'm going to die. How do I stop this damn thing? I asked questions about how do I permanently stop this habit or addiction? And people said, look, you live with this, man. You live with it or you die with it. And either way, it's with you the rest of your life. So I'm living with it. And I'm trying to help others see that it's worth living for. And it really is worth living for. I'm not just saying that. I have dark times. Absolutely. I'm not even underplaying them. I've had moments where I just literally wanted to lay in bed and go to sleep, because I can't speak for every addict, but most addicts can't deal with stress like normal people. Some people thrive off of it. Man, people piss me off or something, and I get in my head real bad. I think, oh, you want to piss me off, huh? And usually how we do that is we hurt ourselves thinking we're going to hurt them. That's how we problem solve. Oh, I'll show them. I'm going to go grab this fifth of vodka. I'm going to show that asshole. Watch this. Like, dude, you're hurting yourself thinking you're going to help hurt them somehow. And so I don't want to hurt people anymore. I don't want to do that. I want to be a different person, change that pattern that was in my mind, the way I used to think. I couldn't think my way into thinking differently. I had to do something different, and I had to have help of others. Totally recommend whatever you have nearby, Go to it, people, places, and things that want what's best for you. Don't go to the people, places, and things that want what's worse for you. It's simple shit, man, but it's so true. I can't stress it enough. You have to survive. It's that or die. If you have what I have, it's that or die. Thank you, Alvin. Appreciate that. Awesome, Marcus. Taper, bro. If you can do it, let me know. Keep me updated. I hope you can come down with the subs safely. And man, please keep me updated. I love to hear success stories. I want to see you guys successful, happy, and both of you. But I'm telling you, in relationships when both people are addicts, you both have to be driven and motivate each other to go and focus on getting this clean. Because I've seen it with my brother. My brother would be doing good, his wife wouldn't, or vice versa. And a lot of times it was Kurt. You know, Kurt's like me, he's a little stinker, man. I mean, we can be very influencing on our partner. And you know, they would fall together. So I'm saying rise together, and no matter what, rise, because you might be the reason why she gets clean in the long run, bro. Just saying. God bless you, man. Thank you. Yes. Do you guys get the worst depression ever at least a week or two after a relapse? After you relapse? Oh, man, I've relapsed before in the past, and it sucks. It's depressing. In fact, I didn't want to walk back into those rooms, you know, the 12-step rooms. That's the way I did it. Not saying that you got to do that, because there's other stuff, you know, there's other ways of doing this thing. I didn't want to go in there and hear someone go, "Oh, he freaking relapsed," almost like they're betting, you know, like, yeah, I told you, $10, pay up. I knew he'd relapse. You know, your pride is in the way, so you don't really want to do that. Get involved with people who really want what's best for you, wherever that's at. That's all I encourage. Positive vibes, positive things, man. And sucks the darkness we're at in our mind. I talked to someone yesterday. I'll leave them nameless, but I do this thing through Facebook too, in Facebook groups. And they said that they've decided their fate, that they were going to die from this. And it just hurt, you know, it hurt to hear that, because I know the dark place that is. And they said, nah, I was born with this thing. I'm going to die with it. That's my fate. I'm not going to try it. They said they're not going to go to meetings anymore. They're not even going to try that anymore. They said that. And it's sad, because I just, when you've given up, because it is such a hard road to take, for people like me who want to help, you know, you can only do so much. And so you have to back up, and they have to experience more, I guess, for them to get it. Some people never do. That's a sad thing about this. You know, when I was going to AA and NA and hearing both sides, you know, alcohol, they can drink for, usually no one is overdosing often from alcohol. It's something that kills you over a long period of time, but one shot, you know, take too many pills one time. And that happens a lot more often than people who get drunk. And that's just what sucks, is some people don't have enough pain from this to kind of go, okay, I need help. And then some people get all the pain in the world and they still never get it. It's just a sad beast. I wish our science would advance. More money would be put into this to help people. This is an epidemic. I mean, this is just crazy. I would love to see more science put into helping us, other than, here, we're going to give you a drug called methadone that they invented back when the Germans in World War II. You know, we're just going to give you something that's been going on since then. We might have tweaked the formula a little bit. You don't think that our science has developed enough to try and do something about this? I'm venting now, y'all. I'm just venting, but I want to see y'all all successful. What do you think of an ex-addict getting pain meds from like surgery, or doctor at the morgue says it's a huge step back for them? I've not taken anything in over 8 years ever with childbirth. Whew. That's a toughie. I've had that fear of, like, what if I have to take pain meds? I talked about this on another one. I mean, first off, I'm total transparent. So the doctor has to know that if he's putting this in me, there's potential for actual cataclysm in my life. So please, you know, they have to understand that the only reason that you would put this in me is because you have to, in order for me to be able to withstand whatever it is that is about to happen to me. So that's it. Please post your Facebook group. I couldn't find your page. Oh, I need to make a Facebook group. Look, my Facebook name is my name, Derek Lambert. You can find me on Facebook and add me. I need to make a page for everybody on here. If you have Facebook, we can go into the group and start talking recovery. but I want to come up with a name. I don't want to just call it Derek Lambert. I really want us to have like a family where we can, communicate. All right. I was on heroin for 6 years, and I'm now 17 years clean, but it is still struggle with from time to time. Yes, it is. And no matter what, my sister had 10 years clean, and she relapsed. 10 years. So it's that struggle's always going to be with us till we die. So when people, this is a funny story. I'm not a pastor at all. I have a bachelor's degree, okay, in biblical studies and theology from back in the day. And I was asked to, one of my wife's best friends overdosed. And I was asked to go and be the pastor at the funeral. And it was the weirdest thing. I kept getting called um I think he called me pastor. Pastor, your flock is ready. Your flock is waiting for you. And I'm like so nervous. I'm not a pastor. Oh my gosh. And I'm standing in front of hundreds of people. And I'm talking about this girl who's very close to me, my wife. I was so scared. I didn't know what to say at certain times. And I was looking at her mother, crying. I was just thinking to myself, man, this thing is so serious. I finally stopped what I was reading because I was trying to go off a script. And when I started speaking from the heart, it just went. I was able to flow, and things were so much better. The mom came and hugged me afterwards. She was looking at me a few times like I had the power to resurrect her from the dead. I felt so powerless, and I was scared out of my mind, but I did it because I love their family. And, it touches all of us. I can't tell you how important it is. You got to want to breathe. Get around people who want you to breathe. That's the truth. You have to want to breathe. You're drowning. You need help. Get help. Open up. You don't want to because you're worried about this. You're worried about that. I'm telling you, if you open up, you might be surprised if you're honest and crying out for help to someone, what they might do for you. I've seen it happen. Just saying. I know it'll hurt them a lot of times if it's a mom or a dad. You're scared to go to them, or a husband or a wife or someone. But you will feel a million times better, and at least that's a step in the right direction of being honest. And I can't say that that's the case for everybody and that they need to do that. I'm not speaking for anybody else, but for me, I'm just saying I know the weight that is lifted when you are honest about this shit, man. Because you're gonna die with it if you don't. If you're like me, like I said, I relate everything to me. I'm no professional here. I'm just a professional drug user. All right, thank you for this. Yes, please do Facebook, and we will all be friends trying to help each other. Exactly. Feel good. Your message was retracted. I don't know why. Rose, I was the worst addict possible. Something happened, and I'm going on 8 days clean now. God is good, y'all. Amen to that. I have to say, after being sober 8 years, when my two brothers died, March 19th from truck accident, I wanted to go get some pills, and I have not felt that in 8 years. I got sober February 24th, 2010. Wow. Yeah. See, this thing doesn't stop. I'm glad you didn't take the medicine to feel better and to escape reality. You're better now. Derek, I've been diagnosed with ADHD since I was 11 and swiftly came off the Ritalin as it changed me as a person. I've stuck to smoking weed, and now I can't wean myself off it. Any tips? Ooh, years ago, it took exercise for me. I was super depressed. It was like an intense way of getting off cigarettes for me. So if you're trying to get off weed, I'm sure other people have better experience on knowing how to get off weed than I do. If you're trying to get off weed, it's not nearly as bad as anything I'm talking about, but it's definitely something I've heard a lot of people who want to try and get off so that their mind is completely clear and they get addicted to it. Not everybody is, but one of the tips, like I said, would be getting involved in a program, man. If any program, anything, any type of thing would work, that's an option. Just saying. If you're hooked on it, that's an option. I know someone that relapses after 20 years. Whew, I hate hearing that too. 20 years. I know someone that relapses. Okay, I haven't been sober in 7 years. Yep, and your brain rewires. So now you have to fix all that. You have to rewire your thinking. After 7 years of doing this, it'll do damage, and it forms your habits in your brain to make you go straight to it every time. You wake up for it, you go to bed for it. You do things you would never have done for it. Carrie, I'll send you a notification later. Kurt's doing good, Stealth. Real good. I'm just hoping he grabs a hold of something when he gets out of jail. I went to therapy. I just pushed myself. Feel bad because I just now came out to my wife that I was on heroin at one time. She's now very supportive, but I first was upset that I didn't tell about my past addiction. Yeah, appreciate it, stealth. But yeah, David, that's true. I mean, you open up. You never know. They might just the fact that you're being honest and coming forth makes you feel better. But plus, it allows them to be there to maybe see something or help you get what kind of help you need. My wife was supportive from the start, but she knew I was going to have to do this no matter what, whether she was going to be with me or not. I had to get clean because if not, I was going to die. What's up, Aiden? Still struggling, man. Look, you know how to reach me, bro. And just I hope you stick with it. I hope you can get a hold of someone and get involved in groups and try this thing. Get people, places, and things that want what's best for you involved in your life, bro. You know, and if you do that, success. I'm telling you, if you work that, you stick with that, and you give it your all, it can be very successful. We all have bumps. Some people fall. Some people don't stick it the first time that they really commit. That's okay. Get back up, man, and keep fighting this thing. It's worth it. It's worth it. I'm telling you, because it's not life. You know, stuck the way we were. There are people I hear that say that they dabble with heroin, and I'm like, dabble? How do you dabble with heroin? You know, that doesn't even. I don't speak that language. I can't touch it and then not want it. Or, I mean, the only way I could see that happening is if someone's dabbling with heroin, but then they go right back to cocaine. Like that's a secondary drug. I don't see how you can dabble with heroin. You know, it just doesn't make sense to me. I'm just an obsessive guy. It's everything I do 100%. How long did your cravings last? Ooh, because when you define what a craving is, the chemical is still somehow in your body, or at least the craving of the chemical in the brain is somewhere in the body. I would say I wanted to use heroin definitely within the first 10 days, probably to 12 days. I was wanting it and not wanting it. It was a battle, back and forth. Because when I felt like crap, or I'll just say it, felt like pure shit, I wanted to feel better. And I just lay there and I moan, and then finally that feeling would go away. I'd feel good for a little while, and then it hit me again, and it just kept coming, and it go away, and it got littler and littler till it was gone. So that 10 to 12 days at most, but that doesn't mean I didn't think about it later and obsess about it a little. That's something different than craving. You're a beautiful person to help others. Thank you. Are you going to tell your kids about your past? My kids know about my past, but I don't go into the details. My oldest kid's 11, and I tell them because the grass is greener now. I wouldn't have told my 11-year-old that, hey, this is what I've done. If I was still doing it, I'd hide it. It's like anything else. People, if you're using an active addiction, there are things you're probably hiding from someone at some point, no matter what. When you open up and you become transparent and you just kind of let the truth be known, there's nothing to hide. It's showing my son early on that his invincible father that he thinks doesn't cry and is strong and daddy can do everything. It shows him that even daddy is human, and that we all make mistakes, so that he's not beating himself up for not living up to what he expects to be perfect, or like his daddy is. I'm not, I'm not perfect, man, and he knows that. So plus I want to steer him in the right direction. I don't want him to go down the same path if I can help it. But I will be supportive if he ended up getting hooked. I would be right there with him. I feel like that snake that never stops eating its own tail. Yeah, Brandy. When does the pain go away? Isn't that the truth? It's tough. It's like a dragon just keeps going. My dad uses that analogy. How did you get your energy back? I forced myself to go exercise. How about you? Ooh, for me, I don't I went to meetings, right? And I was there for recovery. I didn't have money coming in. I was depressed. I had no energy other than to go to a meeting. At some point, you got to make money. So I put it this way: I got a job at a car wash, which forced me to be there at a certain time. I needed structure. So I needed a job. And that job made me there at a certain time. I got off at a certain time. There were requirements of me that made me feel like I had to do something. And I didn't want to do it, but I did it. And as I started to do it, it became normal and okay. And that built my energy levels up. So I was, my genetics are uh, well off as is, but that's what really helped me get my energy level back was working. I didn't go to the gym because I have had experience with getting to the gym, bulking up and getting strong, and then my head blew up. I would be doing steroids. I just being careful. I don't want to risk anything. That's literally what I've done before. So that's what I did. I'm 9 months off methadone, sorry, and still struggling. Sometimes it's just discouraging. I feel you. I'm sorry about that. Feel good. I'm really sorry about that. You might have mentioned this in your other videos, but how long did you use heroin? 1 year, David. Heroin, and that's shooting up. It's because the neurons are damaged, GABA A, GABA B, and serotonin. Rose, you know better than I do, because I don't know. I'm just telling you all my experience of things. I'm no medical professional, or I'm not aware of some of this stuff. I hope you keep making videos. You're very motivating. Thank you, Benny. I'm on the streets since 1441 now. I have cried so many times since watching your videos. It's like looking in the morning, or I think you meant mirror, but you know what, Aiden, thank you. Appreciate that, man. And I'm glad, that this helps you. That's the goal. That the goal is to get to where the grass is greener, and then you guys can share your channel with me, or tell me your success stories if you don't make a channel. Anything. I get a lot of people write me every day on Facebook Messenger. I'm going to do an email list. If you're new out here and you want to get on the email list, it's Derek4God7 at Gmail. Derek4God7 at Gmail. And I'm going to get a email list going where you guys can hear from me more often through email. I had no energy, or will to have sex, period. It took me a while to get back to my normal self. I'm sure that's normal. Look, I got out of that lady's house 4 days. I think I was active sexually the 6th day after I ended up getting off heroin. And I hadn't been sexually active for months. So the body's normal functions were shutting down. I was not using my hormones in any way, shape, or form for that. So it was a totally new experience. It was almost like you'd never done it before. That's how long it had been from the drug use. It just had me all jacked up. So, do you have many friends that still use? Is it best to just cut them out of your life? Well, let me put it like this. I'm not saying you got to cut them out permanently. It's a temporary thing that you should absolutely do when you're trying to recover is remove people, places, and things that could influence you to continue on the path. The way I look at it, now, mind you, I'm thinking survival. Imagine you're in war, okay? The enemy is right there, all right? Are you more concerned about upsetting the guy over here who deep down, you truly love? You're going to upset him, or are you going to focus on survival and the enemy that's right there across from you, and that's death? I knew that I had to focus on the death that was coming, the sudden enemy that was ready to destroy me. This is me. This isn't for everybody necessarily, but I knew on the path I was going to die. So I didn't care who or what. I even told my wife this. I'm not sure if we're going to make it. I hope we do, but I have to survive or I'm going to die. And then who's going to be there for the kids? Who's going to be there? I won't be able to make it. So I didn't know what to say. Appreciate it, Archie. Thank you. I didn't know what to say other than I had only one purpose in mind: survive, literally survive. And it didn't matter if they're really my friend; they'd understand. They would look at me and go, "You know what, D? I'm glad you did that, man. One day you can help them, but how can you help them if you don't get there first?" And that's what I had to do. In fact, I hear people talk about jobs all the time. I'm going to lose my job. I get it. If you've got a great paying job, I'm not saying quit your job, but open up. There are jobs you can go and speak to employers and talk to them about needing help if that's what you want to do, but you got to commit. So you can go and talk to employers and speak to them and tell them this is the situation. It is a disease. This is in the medical handbook. I mean, it is a disease. They do have where you can get leave of absences and go to rehabilitation centers or whatever you desire to do to try and get clean. But this is something that you have to survive from or you don't. If you're me, if you're me, if you're anything like me and you resonate with what I'm saying and you found yourself waking up and going to sleep obsessed with the idea of needing more heroin, you couldn't stop. The pain was unbearable. You just wanted to feel normal again. You're depressed. Life sucks. Everything is falling apart. Eventually, that job's going to go away too. It will. So, just like that friend that we're so concerned about, oh, well, do I cut them out? Well, if they really want you to be successful, if they really care about you, then yeah, you focus on what you have to do, what's best for you. How can I be a good father if I'm not even taking care of me? How can I love them the way I should if I can't love myself? I got to love myself first, and I can do everything else for everyone else. And I've heard that's a cliche, but it's true. Uh, Worse sometimes is that I'm always in my own head. True that. I mean, when you're detoxing, especially, you're in your head. You're battling good wolf, bad wolf. Which one are you going to feed? I talked about that in my last video. You know, if you're going to feed that bad wolf, then you're going to relapse. If you're going to feed that good wolf, then you're going to be successful. Eventually, the good wolf will kick the bad wolf's ass. And I told this to somebody today on Facebook, but eventually, if you starve out the bad wolf by rewiring your thinking, by doing certain habits and acting a certain way differently than you used to, that bad wolf starves out. He'll go somewhere else completely in your mind, and he won't be there. So that's something to look at. Is you want to starve that bad wolf out. And keep strong. Okay. What was that email? Derek for God. DEREK, the number 4, God 7 at gmail.com. The worst part is that the doctors who get you hooked, that what happened to me, John. Yeah, they do. They prescribe medications that, some people have legitimate reasons for, and they're necessary in certain cases. But they did a I guess you'd say they had done some research and showing that sometime, I think in the early 2000s, they were just prescribing pain meds when people felt pain. Back in the day, I guess people were built differently, but now if you complain about pain, they're already trying to prescribe you because the doctor's making money. So it's money on money on money, and no long-term anything. There's no long-term, how do we solve this problem when 20 years down the road you are stuck because of a doctor? It's not that you had ill intentions or you wanted to just get high. You were prescribed this medication. It's not, you are not doing this because you just wanted to get high. This started out as a real deal, according to a doctor, and they had no long-term effect that would help you get off. Scary. My boss understood. He has had his past as well. You'll find that about some bosses. You might think this boss is way above you. Oh, he's never had a dark past. This guy's a millionaire. I'm telling you, I've met millionaires who've had worse past than me. In fact, if they didn't have a past, someone in their family was affected by it and they have been touched by this, so they can have empathy, if you will, and they can be empathetic to your situation. It's very possible. Then again, you might have that asshole boss. I don't know. I'm just keeping it real with you. So he says, he's proud for you being honest. Thanks, Benny. If you are going to quit, number one, accept that you are powerless towards the drug and that you can't just do one more time. Thank you, big boss. Pray every time, every single night to God. Get into a religion of some sort. Now, look, hey, that's your advice. Obviously, some structure would help, and something that's going to help you do the right thing. Doing good things is always good. I know people who go to religion. I know people who go to spiritual routes. I know people who aren't spiritual at all, but they practice these principles and they end up successful. So it's all about new ways of acting, acting, not just thinking, because your thinking is stinking, as they say. If anyone wants to chat, I'm on Twitter. All right, Carrie Smithboy1 is username. Awesome. Thanks. I was like that too, but watching your videos has helped me not score. Well, that's good news, Aiden. I'm glad you don't. And I hope you stay not scoring. I was like that too, but watch it. Okay, I have to find a new job because some coworker used and it's permanent trigger. Yeah, I'm sorry to hear that, man. At your job. I mean, I'd go definitely try and get help. That's all I can tell y'all. I keep repeating myself. I don't mean to. Did you have cravings after detox? Yes. I mean, acute withdrawals. So once I got out of the acute or the immediate withdrawals, I still had cravings. After a while, the cravings go away, and then it's more about the obsession in the mind. And then that's where you have to change your thinking. You have to change your thinking by doing actions. If you go to a 12-step program, they'll tell you take 12 steps. That's an action. You climb steps, right? So you want to do certain things. They'll tell you, write a list of people that have done you wrong, right? A lot of people who piss you off. And you can think of immediately at least 1 to 3 people, guaranteed. Let's start with that. And then once you write those 3 people down, you ask your higher power, whether it be your own higher consciousness, you speak to someone, you call it God, whatever it may be, to help you in the process of trying to forgive them. And then in that process, you need to find where you may have done something that you could have done differently to make the situation better. That's just, I think, step 4, working into step 5 of the NAAA program. And once you go through all that shit that's in you, that's on your plate, all that weight that's on your shoulders, and you're able to go, you know what? You know what? We're all human. I forgive my dad for being an alcoholic. I forgive my brother for doing me wrong or taking this or, whatever and whoever. You can overcome that. You're transparent. You're being honest. You're practicing a new way of thinking. You can't go back. I mean, it's so distant from you by this point that you're light as a feather. So as soon as you feel any type of weight on you, you're like, oh, that weight doesn't feel good. I got to do something about that weight. Right now, you have all this weight on you and you think this is normal. This is normal life. But you're all heavy. And once you take all that shit out and get rid of it, then you can begin that process of practicing staying without all that weight on. And long story short, you'll know when a weight hits. Oh, hold on, I need to deal with that problem. I need to face that issue right now so that you don't get stressed out by the weight and think, oh, I'll show them. Let me drink this liquor. Let me do this heroin or coke or whatever it might be. So we run into ourselves when we do that. We're going through an inevitable change spiritually. Government knows. Okay, you're venting. Got truth. Appreciate it, Julie. Carrie, I think I just lost where we were at, so I need to catch up. Yes, Derek, for sure. I had a back surgery, and that's how my addiction started. Wow, the prescription from the doctors. Cravings, heck yeah. Dreams, I had a cocaine dream just last week. I hate the dreams because you wake up and it's a nightmare. You think you're stuck all over again in that hell. That we call addiction. It sucks because you wake up and you're like, oh my gosh, I'm so glad that I'm not stuck, trapped in that again. I've had those dreams and then I'd have to make a video. And I've made videos because of those dreams. It's influenced me to think about a lot of people who are out there, you know. All right, Ellie, awesome. Yeah, day over here. All you have to do is go to him and he would ask you what you want. Okay, I had a doctor prescribe my oxycodone when I had my wisdom teeth pulled. I told him I can't take that because I am a recovering addict and he still prescribed them to me. What? A doctor prescribed you? That don't sound right, man. Not after you've, mentioned that. That doesn't sound right. I would think a doctor would be hesitant or even stop from wisdom teeth being pulled. No, I don't see why he would do that. That's a bad idea for him. That sucks. I've told doctors who've had extracted teeth, I still have teeth missing. And, when they did that, I took ibuprofen. I thought I used to need to take opiates, but I didn't. Now, if I had a severe situation, oh, you bet your ass I'm going to talk to them very thoroughly. I'll even tell them, hey, go on YouTube right now. Look, this is how serious this is. I almost died, and that's how extreme I am from heroin. Please, please help me. If I had to be on it for something, I would be begging for help because I know how scary that is. My brother's detoxing as we speak off heroin. He's on day 5. Grace, I hope he's successful. I really do. I really do because it's tough. Yes, because the 12 step builds your morale. It builds your spirituality, even if you don't believe in God. True. I mean, it rewires the thinking. And this is coming like, we could talk about spirituality, but in a scientific sense, your actions will be rewiring the way you think, period. My pop's from Canada, he's explained this. He has 2 PhDs in this field, and he understands the thinking and how the mind is wired. He has explained to me that the thinking is totally different, and you have to act your way into new thinking. I will repeat that because you have to do things different. You can't just think things different. So you could think, for example, give you one example. Oh, I need to go to the gym. Okay. You can think about that, but nothing stops you from going to the gym. In fact, I need to quit smoking cigarettes. I hear that a lot. And I used to say that a lot, but it didn't stop. Nothing quit. Nothing happened until I did something about it. Even though I didn't want to necessarily, I did it. And the same thing with getting clean. Take that leap of faith, take that step, try and get clean, get a hold of someone. Do you have any experience with benzos, and were you addicted to it? Not benzos. I have experience, but I was not addicted to benzos, but I have taken benzos. Um, Never been addicted to it. So I couldn't relate on that level with that. Doesn't mean this stuff isn't relatable, but I personally wasn't hooked on them. Okay, when I can sleep, I have bad nightmares. Do you? I don't anymore. If you're talking to me, does your family know about your YouTube channel? Everyone I know who's close to me knows about my YouTube channel, knows about my past. They know everything about me. I mean, everything. I've literally opened up about all of this. That's exactly what I did purposely so that I wouldn't go back. It helped me get rid of anything. And in case I naturally get back into where I start closing myself off from people, because that's usually one of the issues. We start hiding and we start getting depressed and we don't open up. They can catch that. They can, Derek, you okay? You're not calling, or you're not, what's going on? And so that helped me. What's up, man? This is Lucas. So glad you're doing well. Is this the Lucas that I think, Lucas? The one that helped me when I first got started in this thing from YouTube? Because I'd love to know. If that is, shout out to Lucas, y'all, for real. I feel hot a lot sometimes, like my body's on fire. Have you ever felt that way? Absolutely. I got hot flashes when I came off of, well, it felt like it. I mean, I was hot, cold when I was detoxing. I didn't go and fill the prescription and don't see that doctor. Thank you, David. I'm glad to hear that, bro. Not after you told him that. I mean, look, if you're going to get prescribed Percocet, whatever, more power to you. But after you've told him that, I mean, yeah, that makes no sense. I finally detoxed for the first time ever. How'd that go, Double? I'm going to show him your day 7 video tomorrow. I know it will help him. You're awesome. Thank you, Grace. I appreciate that. Shout out. Thank you for the love. Most of my doctor. Is it true that withdrawal from heroin is much worse than pills? Ooh, good question. When I was getting off Opanas, like 6 years ago, I was at a detox center. There was a person coming off Percocets, and because of the Tylenol that they had been taking with the opiates with the Tylenol, their stomach was so messed up that they were in bed for 3 days. I mean, just curled up like a ball. Whereas I was on a much stronger form of opiate, and I wasn't curled up like a ball, but I felt like I was losing my mind more. I don't know how to describe it. So in terms of heroin, I've never experienced worse than that. And I've heard people say meth is worse, and I've heard people say that benzo withdrawal's worse. I've withdrawn from alcohol. Now that's a hell of a damn drug, and DTs off alcohol are no joke either. So I couldn't relate to the benzos or any of that stuff. I don't know. And I don't know about the pills in terms of, I wouldn't say it's as bad, but it is tough. It's not, pills are not worse in my opinion, but I don't know. It depends on the person, probably. Withdrawal from heroin is much worse. How did your family find out you were using heroin? Ooh, I got told on. My wife caught me. My wife caught syringes in the house. She knew that I was doing pills. She knew that I was doing opiates. She didn't know I was doing heroin. And eventually it became where she found syringes and was like, "Are these yours?" And I'm like, "No, these are someone else's." And I lied, but she kept looking and she kept noticing. Like I was trying to hide, you know. Have you ever tried, or do you know someone that has taken? I don't even know the name of that, Tom. I'm sorry. Most of my doctors I see now know I'm an addict, and they are excellent with what I can take. Good, David. Awesome. Today is my first day of getting sober and don't know what will happen. I feel scared today. Tears are going through my eyes and nose are flowing. I'm so sorry to hear that. Um, it gets better. It really does. If you're successful and you get off, you stay off the drug, get around people, places, and things, put yourself in a place that when you start detoxing, you can be successful. It gets better. The grass really is greener, but that's a matter of commitment to survive for me. I had to commit. If you think you're going to die from this thing, you need to do whatever it takes to survive. Hey, there's a lot that comes into play for your brothers to quit. Okay, I'm 127 days clean today. Shout out. What's up, Michael? That's what I like to hear, brother. Awesome. Hey, what's up, Veronica? I'm just now getting to these comments, so I'm trying to make sure everybody gets touched here on that. Dude, pills can totally be worse. I think it just depends on how much you are doing of either substance. Aaron, take it from Aaron. I mean, I've been off all of them, but the worst I ever did was heroin getting off, my opinion. And I was on pills for a very long time, longer than I was ever on heroin. Hi, Big Boss. He's with his dad in the beds. Thanks for caring. Yes, the stronger opioids like the Oxy 30s and Opanas, they really grasp your mind really harder than regular Percocet 10s. That's true, Big. Benzos withdrawals is way worse than heroin in my experience. I don't know because I haven't come off benzos, and I'm glad I don't. I'm thankful. I used to hear people in rooms of NA and AA brag about, well, my withdrawal was worse than your withdrawal, and this, oh, mine was worse than yours, and I'm like, dude, it's all bad. This shit is not cool. Like, we should all be like rooting each other on that we're not we're not dying. You know what I mean? How did you quit smoking? Need some helpful tips. Man, Sarah, that's a hard question. Quitting smoking took commitment. My wife has a spot on her lungs. Now, I want to back up. When I first got clean, I was only concerned about me when I was detoxing. When I got clean, I changed. I really changed into a person who actually cares about other people than just himself. Yes, I'm self centered. I'm selfish. I know it. I'm an asshole sometimes to my family. Get it. But I've changed. And I found out that she had a spot on her lung. When the doctors told her that she may have possibilities, something could be going on there with her lung, my wife said, I can't quit smoking cigarettes if you're doing it because I'm just going to be tempted. Well, long story short, I ended up quitting. For her originally was going to vape. I bought $100 vape thing and was using it the first day, and it was such a tease to me because it didn't compare to and I had a lot of nicotine in it. It didn't compare to smoking, that I said, screw this thing. I gave it to the wife. We didn't even return it. I just kept it in case she needed it or whatever. She's still vaping to this day, and I stopped smoking cigarettes. I'm like 2 years from smoking. I don't even know the day. So I committed. It sucked. Just saying, it did. It was more depressing and like irritability. You're so irritable. You just feel like you're missing something. That's my experience. Meth is the worst. I've done it all. I've heard that. Benzos can actually kill you. That is true. And so did alcohol too, Aaron. My father, I've experienced that. I've been 2 weeks sober. This is very hard. I never thought I would ever be sober. Wow. Yeah, double, keep doing it. I'm telling you, it gets better. It goes away. If you can stick it out, if you stick it out and you made it, let's just say you made it to 30 days. Unbelievable. You will be in a way better place. But you need to get around people that are positive influence, places that are positive influence, do things that are positive in your life. That's the truth. And it'll start to rewire your thinking in a positive way. All right. I was on Valium 15 years. Withdrawal wasn't as bad as I thought, but I was still using. So that could be why. Yeah, it could be why, Ellie. Ibogaine is a new treatment for coming off heroin and cocaine. That's something to look into. I don't know about Ibogaine. How important is staying busy for you in the beginning? When could you be okay just doing nothing? Asked this 2 times. Let me know if y'all can see it. Well, I'm just now seeing this. So how important was is staying busy for you in the beginning? Well, your mind absolutely needs to stay busy. You want to keep your mind busy. That is an absolute, because if your mind isn't, you're just going to lose it. You're going to be thinking about using. That's it. So a lot of times you want to do things, be actively doing things to take your mind off of something. Because I don't know if you're, like me, and I'm a guy. Women can multitask, but when I do a task or I have something, and I know you don't have the energy, but if you force yourself into a place around people, around things that make you focus on that, it takes your mind off everything else. So that's my goal. So I went to the movie theaters with the wife, and I was like 5 days off. I thought I was done because it was coming in waves. I was so losing my mind in that movie theater, but I'm in the movie theater and I'm looking over and I see my wife smiling and I see my kids and they're happy. And I just was like, okay. I just took it 1 second at a time. I had to breathe. I had to rock like this. I could relive those moments and remember pills, heroin, poppy seed were equally terrible. Okay. Yep. What did you find tougher, Suboxone withdrawal or heroin withdrawal? Me personally, heroin withdrawal. Suboxone withdrawal sucked and the sweats were there, but they're minor. But there's the long term irritable, not comfortable. That's what sucks, and it goes on and on. Heroin, on the other hand, was it's all at once and it impacts, and you're sleeping right. That's me personally. First day of sober sucks. Nicotine patches, but some people say Suboxone sucks worse. Kurt hated Suboxone when he was in jail. He was trying to get off Suboxone while he was in jail. It was the worst thing he said. All right, I stopped smoking with a vape machine too. Thanks, Ellie. Ended up sick. That's what made me quit. Guess you can't see my chat. I see it, Jay. We're just now catching up. I'm sorry, bro. I'm trying to catch up. People died from ibogaine. Be careful and research it. Thank you for the point there. I didn't know that. Withdrawal is the easy part. Staying clean is a hard part. Has your brother considered a long-term inpatient treatment? And yes, this is Lucas with the old YouTube. Man, Lucas, I knew it, bro. Dude, I want Kirk to get into a inpatient treatment of some sort, something with structure. Dude, please resurrect your channel. Do a new channel, because your experience is needed. A lot of people on here, guys. This is Lucas. I did a video about him. He was one of the guys I sat for hours. 5 days off heroin, and I was laying there rocking, and I'm smoking the cigarettes on day 5 where I made that video, and I was watching his videos, and he made it to 30 days. I could see in his eyes, his face, everything changed. His energy levels were already going up, and I said, if he can make it to 30, and he looks like that, and he's that much happier, I need to make it to 30. So I made it to 30, and I did a 30 or 31 day video. Dude, that's great. I'm glad you're here, bro. So you've been a huge influence, and you were part of the process of me getting to where I'm at, man. So thank you. I appreciate that. How do we donate some money for you? Gracie, I've got a PayPal. I'll put it in the description. I also have a Patreon. And then obviously there's a super chat option here. But if you want to support my cause, I'm actually about to do a website as well. Get you guys on an email list. I mean, I want this thing to get out there. It's an epidemic. And as much energy as we put into using, why not use it to try and help people who are stuck see that this can be done? That's my goal. So yeah, if you want to help donate, I have like I said, PayPal's easy, it's quick, and I could send you a link to that. I'll put it in the description of this video. That way, if you decide afterwards you wanted to help, that it'll be there. How to keep our mind busy each and every time. Isn't that the truth? Never mind. Thanks, Derek. Okay, catching back up to you. I'd have to go to Gale to get 30 days clean. Oh, to jail. Whew. Yeah, that's tough. In jail sucks detoxing. You definitely don't want to. You don't want to have to be in jail detoxing. Kirk's told me about it. I can't wait for him to come out and tell that story. That is the hands down, it's gotta suck. But he said something about in the head when he knew he couldn't leave, it stopped any of that like possibility of getting something because he's in jail. He can't get it. He's stuck. One thing I could say for sure is during my worst withdrawals, when I would lay down and cuddle with my girl and our dog, I would feel instantly better at that moment. I can relate somewhat. But I can also say there were moments early on when I lay next to my wife and I was uncomfortable in my skin. I slept in the bedroom in our guest room for 7 days or 8 days because I was so uncomfortable in I don't know, it was in my skin. I just and that room was cooler. I don't know why that room is always colder in the house, but I had to go in there where I was comfortable and I was able to lay and not feel hot, cold because my wife's body heat. I just didn't feel very comfortable. I had to sleep in my own room. I was on crack and heroin. David, Kurt is going to be definitely relating with a lot of you guys who've done others than just heroin. I've dabbled. My main thing, like I said, I've done weed back in high school, which I wish it was just that. This shit hit deep later. But alcohol and opiates, period. Not just heroin, but opiates, period. I've been on those. I've touched other stuff, but I've never got locked in on other stuff. Hi, bud. Hope you're doing well. Pandemic, my friend, we're past. All right. What about e-transfer? I live in Edom. I don't know about an e-transfer. Let me see something here, Sean, real quick. I have an app on the phone, and it is a Venmo. It's Venmo. That is an app as well, similar to Patreon or PayPal, or similar to PayPal, but there's Venmon, and that's an option. I don't know how to do an e-transfer. Someone sent me a donation to help me in this process through an email, but it was from Canada. Now, my father's from Canada. I'm not, and I couldn't cash it out. And I wrote them an email back. They never responded. But I told them I was not able to get the funds because I don't have a bank in Canada. I'm in America. So anyway, if you really want to, my email is Derek4God7 @gmail. But there's apps as well you can always reach out to, and if you decide you wanted to help, it's there. So that's there, Sean, in case you're wondering. Venmo, PayPal, and all that other stuff. I've done it lots of times. Okay, I wish I could be clean. I'm finding it so hard because my husband just doesn't want to stop. I can't say no if he is bringing it into the house. That's tough. That is tough. Kurt's wife and Kurt have the same experience using drugs in the same house with each other. You think to yourself, well, damn, won't they just separate long enough, right? Well, it's not as easy said as it is, or it's easier said than done. It's very difficult to get them separated. I mean, and it makes my mom, it makes everyone in the family think they don't need to be together. They're bad for, or she's bad for him, or he's bad for her. And it's like, at the moment, they might be bad for each other. And who knows? They may not be good to be around each other. They might always have that little connection that's a trigger. I don't know. But I say it, I'm gonna say it again. Survival for me, whatever it took to get clean, I had to do because I was going to die. I am a drug addict that will kill himself on accident because of chasing the dragon. It just happens to me. I've heard it's there's a culture wave for helping people in this epidemic. A lot of people treat this issue like an elephant in the room, and you can start this wave to help people and become successful. Oh wow! I heard ibogaine is very effective. It reverses the opioid receptors to the pre-addiction state, but it's illegal. I wonder why it's illegal. Maybe the government's trying to tax that too. I don't know. Figure something out. Working a program is the way to go. I went to rehab for 6 months. I didn't know. Look, listen, this is important, especially coming from Lucas, because I watched him. Lucas, if you don't mind commenting, I'll fast forward down real quick. Comment. Did your channel get shut down because you showed yourself using on the channel? Wanting to know, just saying. If you don't mind, let everyone know because I watched you start doing pretty well and then something happened. But anyway, I'm going to read this. Working a program is the way to go. I went to rehab for 6 months. I didn't know what I was doing back in the day, which is what I witnessed. But you made it 30 days, which made me say, if he can do it, maybe I can. A 12-step program and complete abstinence is what's working for me. Same here, bro. Same here from the start. I had to go cold turkey and I stuck with it. That's just me. My first withdrawal experience ever was in jail. My cellmate wanted to kill me because I legitimately couldn't stop shitting, puking, tossing, and turning all night. It was a true nightmare. Oh my gosh, bro. That's crazy, man. About withdrawals or anything. Okay. Damn, I've been sober off weed for 10 months and just recently quit alcohol for good. Wow. George or Jorge, I'm not sure how to pronounce your name. That's good. I'm glad to hear that, bro. Is Kurt's wife staying clean while he's in jail? Good question, Gypsy. I haven't asked. I haven't bothered. If I were to have a hunch, she's probably prescribed Suboxone and she's not running the streets. Fingers crossed. But I'm not tight with her. We're not always in communication. It's not that we're not cool. We love each other. I mean, we're family. But I don't know what she is doing. My hunch is she's just doing Suboxone and she's prescribed it by a doctor. I don't know. That hasn't been successful in the past, other than it's gotten them from being on the streets. But also, they've sold them before. So they've been prescribed them just so they could sell them to make money. So, I mean, look, I don't know where to go with that. It's easily a temptation to sell those things if you're not taking them. Is Kurt's wife okay? Kurt and the wifey have to put the kids first. Well, that's tough, man. Look, it's tough when you're in the situation to put the kids first. That's a hard one to do. They're survival, man. You've got to learn how to be able to put the kids first. If you're not even doing that as an addict, how can you put them first? It's tough. It's easier said than done. What's up, Vaglis? I don't know how to pronounce the name. Thanks. I'm off at 3 in the morning nights. Everyone. Oh, all right, Aiden. Big boss, you're completely right. More awareness and just support from society is needed. Our culture stigmatizes addicts, giving them records so they can't get good jobs. Right here. It makes people reluctant for help, and that's true. That is true. I'm a construction worker. I've had many people write me recently saying, you're beyond that. I mean, not saying that there isn't a place for it, but they're saying, look, you have potential to do other things than just out there labor. And I'm a supervisor, but still, I'm limited. I wouldn't choose this job to be away from home if I had a clean record. If my record was clean, and I'm sure a lot of you can you relate to having charges and limiting the job choices because of your past. I mean, it sucks. I would love to be able to go to a job where I'd be home every night, indoors, possibly run my own, thing. I have the potential. Been told by a lot of people, so it's just I can't do it at this point, at this moment, and find a good paying job where I'm making what I make on the road, traveling away from my family back home with this record. I deleted myself. I used my first and last name with the channel and had a freak out one day trying to get clean again. This was about 3 years ago, and I regret it. I missed my channel. Same here, bro. Your channel was great. Please resurrect that channel. Once again, if you name it, is this going to be the channel right here, by the way, Sir Drave? Just wondering, because that's a shout out as well. That is hard to do when you all withdraw. You are selfish thinking about getting high. That is true. You make bank. I really wish, Aubrey. I really wish I made bank. Right now, I'm broker than ever. My wife's right now not working. She's trying to find a decent paying job, and it's tough. It's tough. Everything's on me right now. So we're trying to come out of that hole. But look, it can be easily. These problems I don't have to go and use. I mean, how am I going to, make things better if I do? So 3 years away from it, I don't even think about it anymore. I just help other people. Reaching the pink cloud is what finally kept me steady and straight. It was a natural rush. I got out of nowhere the second week of sobriety that kept me on this track to this day. Good. The pink cloud. Oh my gosh. I feel the pink cloud every once in a while. Sometimes I'm so focused on life and things that are in front of me. But yeah, the pink cloud is something interesting. Old man told me one time I went in a meeting, and when I walked outside, he said, son, come here. I've been on a pink cloud for 10 years. He said, you just got to keep scratching at that node and keep giving it away, and you'll stay on the pink cloud. Well, I get on the pink cloud because I give this stuff away to people on here, and it helps. You guys help me, and I help you, and we're here for each other. Oh my God, that is the part that sucks the most is having those charges. True that. Bro, you won't need a job if you continue this YouTube content and just be super creative and you'll be helping people while making great money. Look, I'd love to make a living off of this. I'm not trying to make a killing. I'd like to survive off of being able to help people and do this. However that happens, I would love that because I would focus and pour all my energy into this. Up do just so much stuff. I'm trying to do that, but I can only do it in increments. My time's consumed. I'm working that way. So that's why I want to get the website, email list going, start helping. Maybe someone could sponsor this. Someone big could probably jump in and say, we're going to support what Derek's doing, and we can get a community of people involved in trying to help this situation and help people. I do plan on building my own business. Feel good. I do. I plan on actually making my own business. Absolutely. I don't have the details exactly, and I don't want to say anything yet till I know for sure what I'm going to do in that field. But I am planning on trying to do something so that my children. See, this is the thing I would have never thought about. I want my children, when they get a little older, they're going to work for me, and I want to be able to hand them an empire down. I want to say, here's the business that your father was able to create. And here's the hand me down. I want you to be able to run this business and maintain it. Anything can happen when you really have no clue how far you can go after you've been clean. You think about what's right in front of you, and all you see is darkness. You're just kind of like, there's nothing more. That's it. But there's plenty more, way more than you can see. All you can do though is take my word for it and give it a shot. And here's my recommendation to anybody. If you will push yourself no matter what to get 30 days clean, after 30 days, hit me up. If you don't like what you did, go back. Go back. I'm telling you, it's that much better. Once you get 30 days, you'll notice. Okay, life ain't necessarily always better, but it's way better. So, all right, my uncle's addicted to heroin. Any advice for him? It's tough. Definitely get help. People, places, and things are first that you want to try and get rid of and remove from your life to at least temporarily so you can get back on track to try and do right. So, look, there's YouTube channels. We've got guys who are brand new coming off. This is for S Monkey. Mark Curran Recovery. He hit me up on Facebook. He's got a new channel. He's 12 days clean. Go show his channel some love. It's really important that guys like him get support from y'all as well and hear, hey, you got this. Good. Congratulations. He sounds like Conor McGregor's little brother too, with that Irish accent. So, I love hearing him talk. And let me tell you, God needs people like you, and he will be in your favor as long as you're helping people. This helps me a lot because I'm talking about it. You helped me today. Thank you. Look, talking early on will save your ass sometimes. This is why you need to get involved with people. Communicate. Can you talk about how you had to switch your routine? Ooh, my routine was this. When I got clean, I'm going to try and do a rundown without going too fast, or not too fast, but too, I guess you say detailed. I was all on drugs. I ate, breathed, lived, shit, drugs. That's all. I mean, it was like always focused on when I woke up doing drugs, when I went to sleep it was drugs, and throughout my day it was drugs. When I got clean, I knew I needed help or I was going to die. I went to AA, actually, not NA. I went to AA. I went to NA too, but the first place I went was AA. I was going into the meetings. I was, involved in the program. I got a sponsor. I went through and started practicing these 12 steps. I did the lists. I made amends the best I could. Where I didn't have money, I couldn't make those amends. All I could do is try. Okay. I did all the steps and I kept going to meetings. Didn't have a job yet. Once in a while, I could mow a lawn, but that was it. I finally, after going to meetings for some time, was speaking about how I had no money to get my kids Christmas presents. And this was 3 years ago. When I went in there and I told them that, there were people who were offering me jobs. Like, hey, I got some side work. You can come work over here and I'll pay you this to make some money. Well, I took up a few of those offers and started helping out, and it gave me energy as well. Well, I got a job at a car wash. At this car wash, it's the worst place in Fayetteville, North Carolina you can probably go. I mean, it's nothing but drugs, like lots of drugs, and it's right there in the streets. So I was like, why am I here? I'm supposed to be getting clean. Why am I here? Well, that's pretty much my routine. I ended up getting a better job, which is what I'm doing now, and it's been structure. Structure has kept me clean. That's what switched my routine. Bro, how long you been clean? I've been clean 3 years. October the 28th, 2015, and I'm hoping the rest of my life, one day at a time. Though I'm just hoping. Congrats on staying sober. Have you been subscribed for a year now? Keep on going and inspiring people. Appreciate it. I've had a channel for 2 or 3 years. I feel like it is really big part of recovery. Yes. Guys, the life is good. I was 6 years heroin addict. After 1 month, this fire, it goes away. Every day is more easy. Believe in yourself. That's true. You hear that? After 1 month, after being on heroin for 6 years, 1 month, he's already in a good place. Okay. I'm telling you, 30 days and you'll see. But you want to practice new things or you can easily go back. But I'm telling you, the pain, all that shit that sucks at the beginning, that's over with. You're in a better place now physically. You just have to work on things. Okay, I just want to say I love listening to you. Make me feel better about myself. You're a great guy. Love to you and your family, John. Thank you, John. I appreciate that. I really do. And look, you can reach out to me. Email Derek Lambert or Derek for God. So it's Derek for God 7 at Gmail. I'm gonna put all this in the description. Facebook, Instagram. I need to get a Twitter going that I'm active on. I've got one, but I don't play with Twitter. Hit me up. You guys can write me messages. I see them. Make sure if you add me as a friend on there, though, that you write in the message where you found me because people have fake accounts trying to add me all the time. And I sift through that stuff. I don't really want all that fake stuff where people are trying to push some weird sites and all that stuff. So please specify, that you saw me here. Your videos have helped my wife understand what I went through when I was on heroin and or crack. I don't think about it as much, but have weak moments when I get stressed or depressed. She loves your videos. Thanks, David. Bro, thanks for this. You're really inspiring. I needed this on my day 6. Oh, and drop your email too. That's going down in the description. For you who are not writing this down, got it. That's cool. It's going to be down in the description. Everything that you need to be able to get a hold of me, if you want to help donate, that's fine. It's all going to be down there. I appreciate everyone's words, the kindness, all that stuff. It always helps out, obviously. And I'm going to keep doing this thing. Being an addict can be a powerful blessing if you get clean, since addicts mostly only listen to other addicts. Good point. And not some doctor that has no personal experience. That's a good point. Very good point. Me and my wife had a huge argument when she was prescribed these medications because I was worried about where this is going. And I said, I might need to go in there and explain to him the situation at home. But long story short, they don't have that personal experience. That doesn't mean you have to bash the doctor. They're trying to do what they think is right, but maybe communicating with them is a good idea. My pops from Canada told me that when you speak to these doctors, they'll shut down if you start coming at them like, oh, don't trust me. Just calmly, professionally speak to them. They do this on a day-to-day with many people, different personalities. Thank you. Yes, Ivy Clothing. Look, I'm promoting Ivy Clothing. It's the shirt. Are you a sponsor for AA now? Why or why not? Well, I've sponsored people in AA. I haven't been actively involved in the rooms. I travel for work and I drive a truck on the road, a work truck. I'm gone Monday almost till Saturday every week. So when I'm home, I only get a day or two with the kids. This is kind of my way of helping people sponsor, giving tips, helping people, talking to people, that kind of stuff on a day-to-day. So that's my way of sponsoring, if you will. It's a different, obviously, totally unorthodox to what you're used to probably hearing in a room, but I'll tell you exactly what worked for me. And if you want to try that, that's great. If you don't, hey, that's fine as well. I'm not trying to tell you how to live your life. It's just, I just want to give people experience, strength, and hope. Tell them it can be done. It can. So appreciate that I made you laugh, Anton. So have you tried psychedelics, acid, shrooms? Yes, shrooms, I have. This is years ago. First experience was great. I was obviously in La La Land, and I was barefoot walking the neighborhood, and my feet were so numb that I didn't feel them, but I ended up bruising my feet, didn't even know how bad I hurt my feet from shrooms. The next experience was one of the worst experiences I had ever had. I was trapped in my mind in a bad place. So, I don't know. Look, I've researched some of the stuff about the psychedelics, and would I try it again? I know Russell Brand, famous guy Russell Brand, who was a heroin addict or is a heroin addict, and he's like me. Till the day he dies, it's always going to be there. He talks about wishing he could try these things, but he's worried about what it could possibly do to him. And I can understand and respect that. I mean, I've thought about that. Like, what would ayahuasca or something like that do? Would it benefit me or not? And I don't think I'm going to risk the chance of trying that because I'm content. I'm happy. I don't need it to be happy. So there are people who might need this stuff. I personally don't. So just giving you a heads up. Have you been offered heroin opiates since getting clean? Offered? Never offered. But I've known people who were right next to me, that were using it, that did it. Look, I've helped my brother since being clean. I've walked into his house with him and his wife while they're using syringes and having a hard time. I was trying to get him to go to detox. I have helped him, if you will, administrate the medicine to get him to a detox because he was having such a hard time. He was jabbing himself up, hurting himself, that I didn't want him. I mean, look, there was no convincing him not to. And I have taken him in dark places and brought him to detox. That's where I'm at now in my head. It's not like I see it and I'm tempted at all. It is, I don't look at it the same way. My perception is completely changed. It's all about really trying to help people because I know that's a dark place, and you got to get some time on your belt to kind of see that. It's really a dark place. So I don't know if I can add much more to that. I appreciate everybody. I'm gonna go ahead and get off. I love you guys. Thank you for the support. Email is going to be down in the description. Everything else is going to be there. Reach out. Facebook, Instagram. I do have a Twitter. I'm not active on it, but I do get notifications. So if you hit me up, I can see that. I love you guys, gals. And write me if you need something. You just need to shoot the shit with me. Hey D, I'm losing my shit, man. I just wanted to tell you thank you. Cool. Thank you for reminding me, that it's still there. And please appreciate the support. Show Mark Curran Recovery. Mark MARC Curran, or CURRAN Recovery. Show his channel some love. Lucas, get that channel up, bro. Look for Lucas. He's gonna have a YouTube channel coming here soon. Kirk, hopefully. And stay tuned. I'm gonna try and bring more to the table. I love you guys. Good night.